How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about SOFI, which was up just over 7% on the day. Keep in mind, for the overall market, it ended up finishing red. So knowing that SOFI is continuing to show us a lot of strength, of course I got to give you guys an update, especially since we came very close to touching some key levels. I'll talk about it further in this video. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support, we want to know resistance, we want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for SOFI. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $7.75, being up 7.19%. On the low, it tested $7.15, and then on the high, testing $7.99. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 56.887 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 66.816 million shares. So even though we did have below average volume on the day, we saw a lot of strength in the stock. Keep in mind, the market did not finish green today. So again, SOFI showing a lot of strength. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is the daily chart, we can see from the RSI down below, it is at 57.99. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we're below the 200-day, the 100-day. We close right at the 50-day, and of course, we are above the 21-day EMA. So remember what I was saying yesterday. We are continuing to form those higher highs, and we have been doing this consistently. We did break the higher low pattern, but SOFI recovered quite well. We saw a low today at $7.15, and with that high being at $7.99, what did I say about $8? It is a psychological area for this stock. So that's part of the reasons why I wasn't shocked we were not able to break it. But going into tomorrow, though, if we continue to have some momentum, then we could see the stock breaking above $8, and we know that we have a gap that needs to be filled right here around $8.48. So again, keep a very close eye on this level. We are in a prime position to actually get there. Now, if we decide to have a pullback or we want to consolidate, I want to see SOFI holding at least $7. Like I said, the low we tested was $7.15. So if we form another higher low, so let's say if it's around $7.20 or $7.25, that would definitely be a good look going into next week. But for the most part, SOFI is looking really good. So let's move on to the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for SOFI. So as we scroll down on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So we take a look at the recent filings we have here for the 19th. We have RBCGX that purchased 4,700 shares. And we also see Orion Portfolio Solutions LLC with a value change, which is a reduction of 42.22% of their 21,971 shares. We also see DCM International that went in with, wow, there we go, just over 11.7 million. And we can see that there's a value change of negative 40.23%. And then we see Nomura Holdings, which is at 29,698, and they reduced their holdings by 33.09%. So now when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 34.13%, and then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 9.48 million shares. Scrolling down on the page, the short shares availability is at 1.4 million, updated 1 minute ago, and then for the short vol fee rate, it is at 7.40%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, you can see for the close of the 17th, it was at 51.23, and then for the close of the 18th, being at 34 24.13. So that is a significant difference right there. And then when we take a look at the short interest percentage of the float being at 19.87%, SOFI does continue to have short squeeze potential. And we also see, as far as shorts are concerned, they're not showing as much interest as we've seen in the past. Now let's move on to the order flow distribution.
Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for SOFI. So we see on the inflow, it was at 80.15 million, and then on the outflow, it was at 85.25 million. So we had an outflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown, on the large, it was 1.89 million. On the medium, it was 53.63 million, and then on the small, it was 24.63 million. Taking a look at the outflow side, you can see on the large, it was 0. On the medium, it was 59.15, and then on the small, it was 26.10. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for today, May the 19th, we had that inflow of 1.89 million. Analyzing the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tend to represent the retail side, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the large, which represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 6.24%. So this continues to be a consistent range for SOFI. We know that it's a volatile stock. It's also been showing a lot of strength in these volatile markets. And we could see it's clearly for the retail and as well as for the institutional side, there continues to be demand in the market. Now let's move on to the final thoughts, and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for SOFI when it comes to the price action. So tell me, you should not be shocked that we saw resistance at $7.99. Remember what I said, that $8 is a psychological area for this play. So the fact that we were unable to break above it is perfectly fine with me because we still have an opportunity to get above $8. And that's why I always say doing your homework can pay off so much. We also do know that there's a gap to the upside that needs to be filled. I want to apologize and say that it's actually around $8.45. In the previous videos, I was saying it was around $8.48. So that's why I want to see if we can make a move to fill in that gap. If it doesn't happen tomorrow, I'll be looking for that going into next week. As far as where we tested on the low, it was around $7.15. So we can form a higher low going into tomorrow. I think that'd be a great look for the stock. But at the same time, if we end up having a pullback and so forth, as long as we're holding $7, I'm still confident in this play and seeing that it can move higher. But if it does break through those levels, we do know there is a gap to the downside that needs to be filled right around $5.78. So again, add that to your homework. This is very crucial here. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership, we can see there's a good amount of activity that is happening as far as buying and as well as for selling. But we know there's going to be a good amount of hedging, so we can't be surprised about that. And then when we took a look at the short interest information, it does continue to have short squeeze potential. But one thing that we noticed by taking a look at that short volume, we saw a noticeable decrease. So what does this tell me? Not many shorts are all over this play, and that's why we want to look forward to seeing it make moves even higher. As long as the demand is inside of the market for this play, it's going to continue to move up. And the fact that the market wasn't the strongest, it was fairly weak. Just imagine if we have a strong green day in the market. That's why I'm saying there's still a possibility for SOFI to gain some momentum above 8, and let's see if it could actually make that move to 9. Of course, I'm not seeing it hit $9 going into tomorrow. That is just my personal opinion. If we were going to get to $9, it'd have to be sometime next week, which I'll be expecting a lot of buying to pick up in the market. Don't forget, we have Amazon that's going to be doing a stock split. So this is going to bring a lot of attention coming into the tech sector. And plus, on top of that, we do have Nvidia that's going to be coming out with earnings. Again, I'm looking forward to seeing next week being bullish. And before I close this video out, I forgot to share in regards to the technicals, it is looking very strong. We continue to form higher highs, and we've been doing this consistently. We did break the higher low pattern, but the fact that we're continuing to see some strength, I'm not too concerned about that whatsoever. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to see how the stock performs going into tomorrow. We'll talk soon.